Guys, remember The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 12, Say Yes, and I was definitely looking forward to this episode, even though the second half of the season I don't think has been as strong as the first half. I really have been enjoying where they've been going. I was looking forward to getting back to the core group. Last week's episode I thought was good, but it was definitely a bit slower, and this episode I thought was definitely a lot better. This is definitely more of a fun episode. Like, there was a lot of fun stuff going on here, but we finally got some good stuff going on here. You know, the show addressed Rick and Michonne. This was definitely a big episode for Rick and Michonne. Rick finally was able to get to some sort of truce with the other group, and definitely really did enjoy seeing the fight for Negan's on, but let's just get into this episode because I definitely do want to get into it. So, the sun rises in the woods, and Rick and Michonne raid different areas, houses, and hideouts for supplies, and they're basically kind of excusing themselves to be on a supply run. Like, you're using that as an excuse, basically to just have sex and to be together, and they round up cans and boxes of supplies. At night, they have sex in the back of a van, and the next day, Rick looks at a map by a campfire. They plan the day before going out to hunt for supplies, specifically guns for the scavengers. As we know, the scavengers wanted guns, and Rick agreed that he had guns, so they're looking for them. Michonne then finds cash. She shoves it aside, and walking through the woods, Rick is a little pessimistic about what they found, but Michonne's very content with their progress, and they hear something and see saviors golfing in the distance, complaining about hearing about Fat Joey. They steal their batteries and pretzels before hitting the road, so Michonne tells Rick that it's been 2 days, they need to get back. Rick insists that they put in a day and a half more effort. She says they're okay, they don't find the guns right now, but he insists on just a little more. So she ultimately agrees, and basically, I really, like I said, like this episode focused a lot more on Rick and Michonne, because the show very frequently forgets that these two are together, and I like they actually gave them some stuff to do here. So in the safe zone, Rosita picks her stitches off in a mirror. Tara was coming over to help, but Rosita says she's already done. Tara was eager to use skills that Denise had taught to her, and Rosita's a little pessimistic, insists that they're going to have luck finding that many guns without actually acting urgently. You know, she doesn't really think it's going to work. So Tara says they'll find them and fight. She suggests that Rosita save her rage for the saviors and offers medical supplies to help Rosita scar. And yeah, I would agree. I mean, like I said, if Rosita's going to continually do the opposite of Rick is telling her to do and defy him, she's going to get herself killed. It's that simple. Rick has enough of an army. He has the numbers. They'll just kill her. Like, if they need to sacrifice her, they're just going to kill her. And Rosita continues to piss me off in this episode, but Rosita rejects. She heads off to find guns, and in the van, Rick sleeps against the window as Michonne drives. She parks in the woods, prepares water at a campfire, but comes upon a deer, and grabbing her silenced pistol from the van, she wakes Rick accidentally, but heads back to hunt. Rick then follows her, but doesn't see anything. She tells him it was just a deer, and they head after because he owed her a deer, reminding her of handing the one over to Negan, and they then see something, and we don't exactly know what that is. But they together, and a walker's shadow passes on the tarp. Hanging from it, it's a soldier with a gun in its backpack. They get inside and find shell casing of big bullets. They conclude that something serious happened here a long time ago. So they definitely know that something happened, and they explore the area. So Rosita explores elsewhere. She comes upon a house with its door open, sees a gun on the floor at the door. A horrifying walker steps out. She slashes his throat twice before cutting its head. I did like seeing Rosita actually, you know, kill some walkers here. But after killing the walker, she sees a gun on the floor. It's a BB gun, and obviously she's going to take all the ammunition that she needs. So Rick and Michonne explore the rooftop of the school. They come upon a carnival which was set up around back, and they determined that there was a fight here. The leftover guns are exactly what they were looking for. So Michonne shoots at one of the carnival games with her rifle. They share a laugh when she hits the bottle, and shortly after the roof collapses and they fall through, and they share a laugh on the ground level. Michonne insists that this is a sign. Rick looks forward, sees boxes of food labeled ready to eat. So she smiles and suggests that they eat it, and the sun goes down the school, and it's kind of a cute scene. Again, I like seeing these two actually, you know, being coupley. I definitely did like seeing that. You know, again, rarely do they get to show that, and I thought it was kind of a nice detour from all the mayhem that usually goes on. So, in the Alexandria church, Rosita enters, tells Gabriel she didn't find any guns. She tells him that she had a gun. She was gonna use it to kill Negan. She changed her plan, though. If she had followed through, Eugene would be here, and Olivia and Spencer would obviously still be alive. Now, again, that plan was insane. There was no way that plan was actually gonna work, and Gabriel says that he was stupid enough to listen to her, indicating that she missed her shot on Negan on purpose, following advice of Gabriel. She says she doesn't know anything, and he agrees, but tells her the group needs her, and he tells her even a fool like him can see that. He decides to intervene because he thought it was right while the stakes were very high. He questions what she will do since she still has a life, and appears sure that she will do more than yell at a fool. Obviously she can definitely, fuck people up with her guns. We've seen that before. I mean, if you need Tara to kill someone, she will fuck them up, and that's just kind of how it is. But the problem is, again, there's so much of Rosita's mission that she wants to do on her own, and none of it really is going to work. I mean, it's not ran by Rick. Rick's plan's the one that's always in full effect. She doesn't have the numbers she needs, and I don't think Rosita really is understanding that, and it still seems like there's just no getting through to her, and you want to shake her, honestly. Like, you really want to shake her because she's so naive, she's so in the dark, and again, it just makes me feel like they don't have much of a direction for her after, post-Abraham stuff. So Rick and Michonne dig into the boxes of food. They find notes indicating that they are from the U.S. government. They light some candles and have a hearty dinner. Michonne then starts asking what happens after the war with Negan. She says somebody will have to be in charge of all the communities when it's all over, and that's true. And I think that's something that a lot of the characters are starting to realize, that Negan, once he's gone, someone else is going to have to be in charge. And Rick says it's not going to be him, but she insisted he would be good at it. He can lead the Saviors, and he doesn't really think he wants the responsibility, but the two of them reordering things together, he'd want that, and she's up for it too. They're becoming more patient on their need to get guns. He says it doesn't matter how long it takes to get guns to Jadis, but then changes the topic and hands over a bag of chili and mac and cheese, and night is falling. Rick and Michonne put together a cot to sleep in at the school. So back at Alexandria, Tara fiddles with the bracelet made of shells she got from Oceanside. Judith smells it, and Tara proceeds to have a one-way conversation with the little girl, tells her about the woman who risked their life to save hers, and she's trying to talk herself out of telling Rick about Oceanside. Obviously, we know that she knows about Oceanside, and she's doing whatever she can to withhold this from Rick, because as we know, she swore to them she wouldn't tell him about it, but it's starting to come out where she might have to, and I actually think this is a really well-done storyline for Tara. Tara hasn't been relevant in the show in a long time. This is definitely one of the best storylines she's had in a long time. I like what they're doing with her, at least this season. So back at the school, walkers stumble around. Rick and Michonne gear up to take them out. They devise a plan to use a car to block a gap. He will kill one of the walkers, and she will take 8. So he says she can handle it as they split up. Michonne lures walkers back. Rick runs out to take out his with a hatchet. He tries to get in, but a soldier is lodged in the windshield. From the hood, he tries to pull it off by the foot, but its foot rips off. Then its legs rip off, and Michonne hits 2 zombies with one slice of her sword. He finally gets the soldier out to the windshield, begins pushing the car with Michonne's help. A really graphic scene, but again, they're finding cool ways to kill walkers, which I did like seeing, and he jumps in, realizes the brakes don't work. Michonne then hops in the trunk after Soldier Walker opens fire because the trigger is stuck on a spear. He realizes that they overshot it, and he shares a light moment with Michonne in the car as it's surrounded by walkers, and moments later, they pop through the sunroof and jump into a swing ride fence. They start taking out walkers, but the small fence is not holding them, so walkers overrun it. They start chasing them. They run through the carnival, use games, and try to keep them back. They plan on splitting them up and fighting them rather than running, so he used a hook for prizes, and Michonne then used their sword, and now locked in the fence around a Ferris wheel, Rick clangs onto it to attract walkers. The two characters take up walkers as fast as they can in a montage. He yells to ask how she's doing. She says 8 more. He has 10. Suddenly, Rick spots a deer, climbs up onto the Ferris wheel to get a shot at it. She looks on, and just as Rick is about to take the shot, he falls. Michonne then runs to him. She sees the zombies eating the deer, drops her sword. He emerges after moments of Michonne thinking him dead. He tosses her sword over to her. The two then dispatch the walkers, and then they share this emotional hug. It's a really nice moment. I like that they were able to do this together, and really to show that these two can run things here, and they actually can work together. But we already knew this. I mean, the show, at this point, is a little bit repetitive. Like, we already knew Rick and Michonne can run a community together. This isn't really surprising. Like, we've known this for a while. I don't know why the show is acting like this is new information. We've known this we've known this. This isn't really anything new. It was nice to see. I like seeing these two actually bonding and actually working together, and it going well for them. But again, we've seen this before. So, later, Michonne and Rick then gather gather guns in the grass. They compile an impressive amount of weapons and rage them around in wagons, which was a really nice stack. I mean, they had a lot of stuff there, and Rick looks at Michonne, finds himself deep in thought. Later in the van, they head back with the guns and food. She's very upset. Rick then stops the van and talks to Roman. He says that they could have a couple more days, and he would have liked that, and he said that he hasn't been sleeping, thinking about what they lost, thinking about his friends. Glenn saved him right from the start, and he couldn't save him, and that's something that has always been, in his mind. It's been definitely troubling him lately, because of the fact that, as we know, Glenn was one of the people that saved him, and Rick, at the last moment, he couldn't save him, and there was nothing he could do. It's normal. He knows that, being stuck in it, they went through something, and this doesn't cure it. And Michonne then tells him that she's sorry. Rick says they're gonna fight them, they're gonna lose people, maybe a lot of them, maybe even each other, even though it'd be worth it. Michonne says that she can't possibly lose him. He calls back to her, asking what kind of life they had, surrendering. He says that it wasn't a life. What they're doing now, though, making a future for Judith and Glenn and Maggie's baby, that's living. They're doing what they can to try to build a community for the remaining humans, because they want to make sure that their children and, their lineage, they want to make sure that they have a life outside this community, and that they can find a way to take down these walkers and things can go well for them. And I really did like seeing that here. I thought this was definitely a really well done, the way that Rick and Michonne really feel like they've accomplished something. And basically, they say that it'd be worth it, and Michonne says she can't lose him. He calls back to her, asking what kind of life they had, surrendering, and he insists that she can lose him and he can't lose her. They can lose their friends, and it's not about them, it's about the future. If it's him, he doesn't make it, she's gonna have to lead the others forward, because she's the one who can, and he says he knows this because she led him here. And again, it's really nice. I like seeing these two interacting. Again, it's nice to see things actually going well for a change. This isn't them arguing, this is them realizing they can do this together, they can rebuild a community, and I definitely really did like seeing that here. So at the junkyard, Jadis evaluates the guns. Rick's group says that there are 63. Jadis says that they are not enough guns. They need twice as many. Rick insists that they're keeping 10 to find more. Jadis bargains, says she wants her cat back. Rick says 20. He keeps the cat. Jadis agrees. More soon will fight, she said. Michonne tries to raise Rick's spirits and says they'll find more guns soon. So he actually was able to appeal to her. I like that they actually did agree, and it seems like things are going well with this community. Obviously, Rick doesn't know the history that this community has, but I like that things seem to be going well there. So back at Alexandria, Rick talks to Tara, asks if she has seen Rosita. She hasn't, but she says she has to tell him something. So it seems that she's about to tell him about the Oceanside community. I don't know if she's actually about to tell her, but at least it seems like that. So at the hilltop, Rosita approaches Sasha, apparently forgiving her for her whole stink about what happened between her and Abraham. Now it seems that she's okay with that suddenly, which, thank God, because that was such a dumb thing 2 weeks ago. You guys know how annoyed I was with her being mad at Sasha for what happened with Abraham. But she suggests a plan to go after Negan and offers a rifle in exchange for Sasha's efforts. Now Sasha has one condition, that she gets to take the shots, and I like that. I like they actually agreed upon this. Rosita points out that it's a one-way ticket for both of them. She says she's memorized everything that Daryl and Carl said about the sanctuary's layout, and it seems that they are going to work on this together, and things actually are going well between Rosie and Sasha. So that's the way the episode ends. Really good stuff overall. Let's just get in this episode and where we're going to go from here. So overall, guys, I really did enjoy this episode, particularly because, one, as I said, they addressed Rick and Michonne as a couple, which I don't think they've done nearly as much as they should. These two should be the driving force of the show, and as we saw in this episode, we definitely got to see that these two, they can run a community together, and they can work alongside each other, and by working together, they can possibly strengthen this community, and, finally extract the walkers. And I don't think you'll ever be able to fully extract the walkers, but they want to make it a good life for their kids, for Judith, for Maggie and Glenn's child, and any other children that join. I thought it was really well done, but also because, as I said, this episode was a lot more hopeful than some of the other ones were. It definitely seemed like there was a lot more hope put into the group. A lot more people are working together, such as what's going on with Rick and Michonne. I really like seeing that. Or the Oceanside community. Now it seems like Rick does have the Oceanside community on board. I'm hoping that Tara is not about to ruin it. I get that Tara is, starting to crack. Like, she can't keep this secret any longer. She feels that, she's working with Rick. She needs to tell him what's going on. I completely understand that. I understand why Tara feels that it's her duty to do such a thing, because of the fact that she is working with Rick and she wants to be loyal to him. And how can she possibly be loyal to someone who doesn't know the entire truth? That's that's completely understandable why she feels that way. However, the whole thing with her and the Oceanside community and the bond that she had with them, this could really put that at risk. Because as we know, she swore to them she wouldn't do that. It does seem that the main leader of the Oceanside community, Anna Tanya, I think her name was, she's not there anymore. So maybe it won't be as much of a worry for Tara. Maybe that's why she's willing to tell Rick what's going on. But I don't really know where that's going to go. I hope that Tara does this in a way where it doesn't put her at risk. I hope she doesn't make a careless decision like that. But we'll have to see where that's going to go. I'm hoping that she does, what she thinks is right, because maybe telling them is a good idea, but it might not work out the way she wants it to, so we'll have to see the way that goes down. And then as far as what's going on between Rosita and Sasha, I was shocked that these two are actually seem to be on good terms. But yeah, I mean, maybe I was wrong about these two. It seems that Rosita actually does seem to want to work with Sasha, and they're going to try to take down Negan. I don't exactly know what her plan is here, but it does seem like these two are going to move past everything that happened to them, which I'm very happy to hear about. You guys know my biggest problem with Rosita in these last few episodes is that she has been doing things completely on her own. She's had a lot of agency in that regard, which I like, but it's been the wrong kind of agency. It hasn't been a woman who can achieve something on her own. It's a woman who's extremely naive and thinks that she can do this on her own without having the numbers, which clearly now she does seem to have the numbers, which it doesn't make a ton of sense why we had that whole thing with her 2 episodes ago. But I do like seeing that Gabriel seems that he's gotten through to her, and through doing that, now it seems like she is going to work with Sasha, so we'll have to see the way that's going to go. But overall, guys, this was definitely one of the better episodes of this season. I really did enjoy this episode overall. I really like seeing Rick and Michonne as a couple, as well as the hope that this episode really did provide everyone. I thought that was definitely very well done. We only have a few episodes this season left, but this was definitely one that stands out among the rest, and it looks like next week we're going to find more, and we're going to find out more about Carol and what's going on with her, and, Ezekiel, there we go, Carol and Ezekiel, we're gonna find out more what's going on there, so that's gonna be interesting. But overall, guys, definitely really enjoyed this episode. This was definitely very well done overall. Like I said, in a show that's so dreary and hard to watch at points, it was really good to watch an episode full of hope, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And I am gonna give The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 12, Say Yes, a 4 out of 5 or a B+. So for guys, maybe this episode of The Walking Dead, let me know what you guys thought of this episode overall, left your thoughts in it, and we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for tonight's episode of Big Little Lies, which I am so excited for. I love that show, and I will definitely see you guys for that. Okay, bye.